Welcome, everyone, to another fun-filled stream where we get to talk about Mega Man X bosses! Or more specifically, the Mavericks of the Mega Man X series. Where these guys actually put up more of a fight than what any of the Robot Masters were able to accomplish. Well, with the exception of maybe the Mega Man 11 bosses, they put up more of a fight than the others. But yeah, Mega Man X Mavericks. Most of them, a good portion of them, were actually Maverick Hunters, but turned Maverick themselves. So they knew how to get shit done. And we're now going to talk about all these Mavericks. Which one will be at the top? I'm pretty sure a few of us will know who will be at the top already. Who will be kind of meh, but yeah, we'll find out. So yeah, let's not delay this any further and get cracking. As you can see, I made the list. The way the tiers are is the same as the previous one. Only difference is, actually, hold on a second. I need to do one little thing. Also, welcome Killer Shadow, Crazy Max, Giovanni, and NW Serpent. Meep. Meepy, 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 meep. There we go. Okay. We got it? There we go. Okay. There we go. These guys are genetically much more powerful compared to the classic Robot Masters. Oh yeah, of course. Because these guys got shit done. So, let's get ready to discuss here. Let's just get a random dude up and started. We'll go with you. If the volume's too high, be sure to let me know. Okay, let's begin. So yes, as I mentioned, we have Supreme, Powerhouse. Instead of Alright, I changed it to Average because it makes more sense that way. Weak and No Opinion. The No Opinion is mostly going to be falling on to Mega Man X7 and 8, but there might be a few exceptions to this. Yeah, there may be a couple of the X7 and 8s that I may actually throw on there, but for the most of them, they're mostly going to be at the No Opinion ladder. But we'll get to it when the time comes. But yeah, let's get this party started. So. But you see, Sigma is going to be at pretty high up there, but you can also see there's X1 Sigma, X2 Sigma, X3 Sigma. Some are more powerful than others. We'll see where they all land by the end of this. So yeah, anyway, now let's officially begin this. So, Armored Armadillo. This guy is very defensive, and he has some, and he uses his defensives to even become like pretty like he can have mobility to work with him when he goes into his rolling form. He has very like great defenses and shit, so that helps him. But the only, like, he has the mobility and the defense, but his power is a little bit weak, surprisingly. But that does, like, doesn't always mean like that's gonna make him weak because of it. Like, this guy, like, if you fight him without his weakness, the guy is hard to kill, because you have to, like, know when he's open. So yeah, he's pretty I'd call him a powerhouse, but not like an amazing powerhouse. I would put him like in between average and powerhouse, but I don't know. Even average wouldn't be that bad. Yeah, yeah. I'd say average would be a little more appropriate for Armored Armadillo. Yeah. Like he can have mobility to some degree, but only when he's in his rolling shield form. But he mostly just serves as defense. Like he served as like a bodyguard, but then switched sides to be a part of the Maverick side. So yeah. Yeah, he'll go in average. Boomer Kawanger is powerhouse. Sorry. The dude's like I said, I've had my biases about ninjas and how they're awesome, and Boomer Kawanger is more or less a ninja. This is why he's on there. I should also consider their animal-based forms as well to like help with their ranking, but we'll debate on that one. But yeah, Boomer Kawanger is definitely S tier, but not only because he's just a ninja, but he's just he can teleport. Actually no, powerhouse. No. He's a ninja, but I don't know. I find that his weaponry just isn't that powerful. So if anything, yeah, I think he would actually be average. I love ninjas, but I have to be more realistic about this. Average, like, yeah, it's mostly his weaponry that just puts him really down. Like, he has, like, probably really, really, really good mobility, but the only problem is that's all he has for him. Like, his weaponry isn't all that good. His defense and offense isn't, like, overly amazing, but I want to put him in powerhouse because dude's a fucking bug ninja. I hate bugs, mind you, but I fucking love ninjas. But, no, but I have to be realistic with his weaponry and shit. All he has is like very good mobility, but that's all he has. We're gonna temporarily skip on the Sigma bosses. I'll get to them in a bit. Chill Penguin, weak. Nothing more to be said. He's mostly good at if he's in his element in the snow and ice, but that's about all he has going for him. And plus his weapon is very weak. He can he's everything Cutman dreams to be, but can never be. Yeah, he's pretty much the Cutman of the Mega Man X series, but just not as powerful. Well, he's more powerful than Cutman, but he just still doesn't have the thing. No, there isn't. This list isn't not going to be this list won't be as big as the Robot Masters one. It's nowhere as big. But yeah, Chill Penguin, like his is also welcome Bronco fan. But yeah, Chill Penguin, he's mostly just good in his element, and even then I'd say he doesn't have much for mobility. He may have probably a little bit of bulk for defense and shit, but yeah, he's not all that great. Even his weapon is pretty piss poor. It can freeze people in its place in some scenarios if you've watched the OVA. So yeah, he's gonna be in the weak category. Flame Mammoth is also gonna be landing on the weak side as well. The most he has with him is he's actually more powerful than Chill Penguin. But he's weak mostly just due to his slow stature and being a goddamn mammoth. But his fire weaponry isn't all that powerful, and he's just too slow to be able to really work with. Hell, even in this fight, he's using a conveyor belt to help him in the fight. He doesn't really have much to work with in terms of like movement, because he has like decent jumping, but even then, that's just he's more using his size to his advantage than anything else. So yeah, he's belonging in the weak category. Launch Octopus. He is average. But I'd say he's better than Boomer Kawanger. He's very situational, since he's more akin to being more an aquatic type Maverick hunter, and the best thing he has going from him is his weaponry, but I imagine the rest of him, he isn't all that great, but he's only good in the water, so he's Aquaman, so he's going to get shat on no matter what. But like the only good thing he has going from him is his weaponry. His missiles and shit are pretty crazy as their lock-on weaponry. Like all of his weapons that he has lock-on thing, except for the fact that he has except his shoulder missiles don't have lock-on, but his main weaponry, his homing torpedo, or horming torpedo by that translation error on Mega Man X1. But yeah, all he has is going for him is his environment and his weaponry. But otherwise, because if he's out of land, then he probably won't be as effective. So yeah, he's going to be average. But the only reason why he's up as high as he is because his weaponry is really good. Spark Mandrill, he is going to be a powerhouse. I'll be honest, I hate Spark Mandrill. I do not like him at all. But this guy hits like a goddamn truck, and he's pretty quick to boot. Surprisingly. Like, if it was all terrain, yeah, he'd be easy powerhouse because his firepower is absurd. But sad for him, he's just an underwater guy. Yeah. Ultimate, Supreme, Menace, Powerhouse, Expert, Strong, Average, Pushover, Trash, no opinion. Horming Torpedo. No, I'll keep the tiers where it's at. Supreme, Powerhouse, Average, Weak. We don't need more tiers other than that for the. Like, I'm not putting trash. I don't want to put trash for like as a thing because they're just. I don't want to just go like shit things again. Yeah, I'd rather just keep it at the tiers that I wanted for this time around. But yeah, Spark Mandrill is like. Yeah, he's a powerhouse. He actually has despite his size, he actually has fairly decent mobility to work with, and he has electrical powers, which is an incredibly powerful asset to use. So he definitely belongs. He definitely belongs in the powerhouse tier. He's surprisingly really he's built. Like, you'd think he doesn't have much mobility considering his size, but he actually does. But that's the thing that surprises me about Spark Mandrill. He's an actual legit threat. I think the only thing that hampers him down is that he said, like, during the exchange between him and X, he says he's not much of a thinker, but he believes in Sigma's ideal. So he's not very smart. So while he is a powerhouse, he's not. I feel that he wouldn't be using that in like the knowledge of his power to his to his full advantage. Otherwise, he'd be a lot more powerful than he should be. So that's why he's gonna be powerhouse, but he's probably gonna be the weakest of the powerhouses. Sting Chameleon. Sting Chameleon. Okay, I do want to put my bias and put him on powerhouse, but at the same time, I can't because, like, Sting Chameleon is one of my favorite Mavericks, but he's average. Like, I know, like, a lot of people will probably shit on him just because he doesn't see, like, on the surface, he doesn't look like much, but you gotta consider here, like the Chameleon's ability is to blend in with the he can blend in with his surroundings, and he could even be used for assassination if you think logically, because he could just blend in wherever he is, and once he finds the right time to strike, bam, he just has to like just use his like tongue thing just to shoot like to kill his opposition or whatever, like instantly. Or whatever, and all that shit. I think the only thing that kind of hampers him is just the fact that his weaponry isn't all that strong, and like even his ability, like his bulk isn't all that powerful. But the thing that would put him a little bit higher is, the only thing that would put him that puts him a little bit higher. In fact, I'd put him like in the middle there, is because of his ability of being able to like pretty much turn invisible with his surroundings. Expert. Okay, you know what? Can I add another one? Okay, you know what? Why not? We'll do it. I'll do the expert thing. But just to clarify with that, Boomer Coanger will be on expert, and that will be about it. Yeah. In fact, I'll put Stink Chameleon. Like he's probably the toughest. He is the top of the average Mavericks, just because it's mostly his abilities. His weapons are too meh, but it's his ability of being able to turn invisible and can be able to assassinate someone if he actually if we went like above and beyond and all that shit. But yeah, that's pretty much for Stink Chameleon. Storm Eagle, supreme. There's no debate. Storm Eagle is supreme. Like, I don't care super much about Storm Eagle, but he is crazy strong. He has mobility, so he's fucking crazy fast. He has a very like, I don't almost even put him in Powerhouse, but just how badass Storm Eagle is. His wind powers are incredibly powerful. Yeah, his Storm Tornado is disgustingly powerful, and technically he's not even a Maverick. He only joined the Maverick side because he was pressured to do it. He was only pressured. He never turned Maverick himself. He is no reprogramming or any of that. This guy just he was more or less blackmailed to go. Like, he was more or less blackmailed to join to fighting with the Mavericks. If it weren't for that, he would be kicking all of these guys' asses. He would be kicking his ass, all these other Mavericks' asses, like, easily. Yeah. And plus he's like very respectable to like even his enemies, except for like Vile, because like, well, Vile can go fuck himself. But yeah, like there's not much debate for that. Storm Eagle belongs in Supreme. He's just, and he has like everything going for him. That's just how good Storm Eagle is. Okay. Now for Vile. It's pretty obvious he's going to belong in Powerhouse, because just how persistent the guy is for... Yeah, he's very persistent in wanting to kill X. Like, at first, he doesn't even give a shit about X. He just thinks he's below him. Until he actually gets his shit ran for the first time by X, and then all of a sudden, all he cares about is one thing, and that's just to kill X. And that goes on for the remainder of the series that he appears in, from Mega Man X3 and X8. And but yeah, but like for him, like the only thing. Oh hey Buster, welcome to the stream. But the thing, like the only major thing that would have put him a little bit higher, if anything, I even put him in expert actually. The reason why he'd be in Powerhouse is because because of his ride armor. His ride armor is pretty much invincible. Because if we're for that, it's just him by himself. Actually, no, he's actually going to be in Powerhouse because his weaponry stuns enemies, and he actually does have a wide arsenal of weapons as well. If you consider the Vile mode in Mega Man X, Maverick Hunter X. And yeah, so they definitely, like, he has mobility to work with. Mind you, his bulk isn't like amazingly high, but he's definitely having a lasting legacy considering who he is. So yeah, he definitely belongs in Powerhouse. It's like almost like a between Powerhouse and Expert, but I'm not putting another tier with that one. But yeah, he's definitely there. He definitely belongs in the Powerhouse tier. Spider Dude. He's average. He's just an average. There's not really much to say because he doesn't really have much significance other than just being a Sigma Guardian boss. So he's just, but all he does is that he just shits out mini spiders and just moves around his wall. So he's just there as a security protocol against intruders, which is pretty much what most of these the X or the Sigma stage bosses will be. Same with Rangda Bangda, and D-Rex is going to be a little bit stronger because he actually has more power for him. Yeah. Velgarder is weak. he's just a piss poor henchman to Sigma just to have around. But he could probably beat Chill Penguin just because he breathes fire. But that's about all he has going for him. He has all he has is mobility and can breathe fire, and that's pretty much his repertoire. So Sigma himself, OG Sigma. He is powerhouse. He is powerhouse. Yeah. The spider boss, like the boss fight itself is annoying, but most of the Sigma stage bosses are just there as security to guard their areas to like protect Sigma. So I don't really have they're average. Like they do their job. That's all I can really say. But yeah, Sigma is a powerhouse. He has the mobility because he literally like dashes and jump. He can jump walls and shit. That's what he has that going for him. He can shoot lasers from his little thing in between his eyes. He has a lightsaber, so that definitely just boosts him up there that high. And to consider his second form, Velgarder Sigma, like, while it's stationary, it's still pretty powerful, but the only reason why it wouldn't be higher is just because it's confined into a room. There's nothing really threatening about... Yeah, there's nothing really threatening about just being in a room where you're just stationary. It's just, if you want to be realistic, oh, you're in your big giant wolf form, so okay, I'll just leave the room. Bye. You can be stuck in there for the rest of eternity until you decide to get yourself a new body. But we'll just base it just on Sigma alone. But yeah, he's definitely a powerhouse. He could probably rip all these guys to shreds. Like he would not have a problem. But I don't know. I'd even argue he would be on Supreme only because he was able to like put pressure on Storm Eagle. But it's a tough call because I would argue Storm Eagle could be able to take on Sigma. But if you really think about it, but Sigma was the leader of the Maverick Hunters for a reason. So he could probably body Storm Eagle no problem. He probably may not be as fast as Storm Eagle, but he definitely would know like the right places to strike. It's even as Zero said in the Maverick Hunter XOVA. He has like incredible combat skills, and each blow he would attack would always be directed at a weak spot. So knowing Sigma, he would know the weak spots on Storm Eagle. So that's probably why he has to belong in tier, like a place higher than Storm Eagle. Dr. Light could beat all of them with the one-hit Hadouken. Well, is it considered canon though? That's my only like minor thing is like, is the Hadouken really considered canon? But alright, that takes care of Mega Man X1. Let's move on to X2! X2! Alrighty. Bubble Crab. Weak. There's not much to say about him. He reminds me so much of Yosemite Sam. I don't know why I get that comparison. Don't ask. He just gives off a Yosemite Sam vibe. He's about as threatening as Chill Penguin. If anything, he's actually probably stronger than the other two. Because as another case, it's another case of using the terrain to his advantage. But the other reason why he's weak is because he's a fucking crab. He doesn't really have much for mobility. And plus, if he's based off of a crab, he wouldn't be moving right. The way he moves would be all fucked up. Because he'd be moving in a straight line most of the time. So I bet most people make fun of him for making fun of this dude. So yeah. And plus, I recall his backstory was because he wasn't getting paid enough. So he just said, fuck this, I'm going to the Mavericks. So yeah, he's nothing all that amazing. Flamestag. He is a expert. Actually, no, I'd say he belong in Powerhouse. He has very powerful fire attacks. Very powerful fire attacks. He has great mobility. So he has a great weaponry. I guess his defenses wouldn't be like overly amazing. But it feels like once he goes into his blue flame mode, he just gets even more powerful. So yeah, he definitely belongs in the Powerhouse tier. So he could whip a lot of people's asses. Magnus Centipede is expert. It's definitely get over there. Yeah, he's definitely expert. Yeah, the reason why I put Magnus Centipede on expert, the dude he's one of the rare guys that be like, yeah, he's one of the few Mavericks that actually has psychic powers. Because he can literally like, he can like bring your like most opponents towards him, and he can just like pull some shit on or whatever. He has fairly decent mobility to boot. But the only problem is his weaponry isn't like super amazing. But the thing that puts him as high as he is because he has psychic abilities, and psychic abilities is not something you want to fuck with. That's one of the big reasons why he's as strong as he is. That's why I put him in expert, because yeah, he's really high up there. But the only thing I thought, like, I imagine it takes great amount of concentration for him to use his psychic abilities. In fact, that's probably the main reason why he's where he is, because someone with very good mobility, in fact, yeah, someone with very good mobility could actually be able to take him down. So so someone like Boomer Kuwanger could probably take him down if he's like quick enough. Yeah. Morph Moth is, yeah, he's average. He's average. Like, we have the whole two. Oh, so his weapon is magnets. Actually, yeah, that is a true fact. His weapon is magnets, which could fuck up a lot of weapons. But yeah, and plus he's close. He's a ninja, but but I don't know. I wouldn't say he's as fast as some of the other like faster like ninja based characters. But and plus he has psychic abilities. Like, while overly powerful, it can easily be people can take advantage of that and attack him when he's trying to concentrate using his psychic abilities. But yeah, Morph Muff is average. There's the whole two forms debate or whatever. But he'd be falling like in a similar state as Armored Armadillo, but so he'd be in his cocoon phase for a more defensive based thing. In fact, he'd probably be a little. He'd probably be the highest of the average as of now, because he'd be very defensive with his cocoon form, and that's pretty much all he'd have going for it, because he'd be stationary. Because the only reason why he'd be able to move is if he uses like a string or something to get around. Otherwise, or if he's doing a spinny thing. But even then, that's like it's not practical realistically, so it doesn't really do much for him. But the moment he's in his actual regular form, he has fairly decent mobility with his flight, and it's just his weaponry doesn't seem all that impressive. Mind you, he can fire laser beams, and they're they're pretty powerful laser beams. Don't get me wrong, too. And that's pretty much it. The thing that it's just the main thing that hammers him is that first form of his. If it weren't for that, then yeah, you pretty much have to like get him to warm up in order for him to actually become effective. Like it's a similar case with Junkman, where he uses his terrain a lot more effectively. But the only thing the only thing that really just doesn't get him as high as he is his first form is just not practical realistically, because he could easily be like overrun if he's if it was like fighting against a lot of other Mavericks. So yeah, I guess it's the closest to you'd have to be working with your surroundings thing. He's just another terrain based person, so he's not amazing. Also welcome P6 to the stream. Overdrive Ostrich is expert. This dude's expert, but main reason, dude is fast, fucking fast. If anything, no. He even belongs in Powerhouse. He is fast. He would probably even give Storm Eagle a run for his money. That's how fast this bastard is. I'm putting him as high as he is. In all honesty, I don't even care about him like all that much, but I cannot deny this fucker is a speedy little bastard. And that's just the big thing. His weaponry isn't like super amazing, but he has like somewhat decent bulk to work with. But the biggest thing about him is just how fucking fast this motherfucker is. Like there was even a I can't even remember the stats for him for his speed, but it was so fucking high up. Like holy shit! I was like, holy fuck, that's actually fast. Overdrive. Let me see. Does it show the power and speed? I don't think so. Yeah, I don't think that it doesn't have a. Oh, there it is. Yeah, his power isn't all that amazing, but the biggest thing that really saves him is the fucker is fast as shit. His weaponry isn't like super amazing, but none of these guys are gonna be able to touch him except for like other fast characters like Storm Eagle and Sigma. Yeah, he can run fast in sand, which is pretty yeah, he can run like terrain. It doesn't mean shit to him. I think the only thing that probably give him a little bit of a hindrance would be like running in water, but that would be about it. Yeah, that is the only like big thing for Overdrive Ostrich is the fact that he's so fucking fast that like everything else about him just like is like minuscule. But that hold on. Okay, but yeah. Yeah, that's where he's gonna belong in, is that tier. Okay, give me 5-10 minutes. Food's ready for me. I'll be back in 5 minutes. So yeah. Okay, I'm back. I has food. I love food. I love food. Who doesn't love food? Better like food. Alrighty. Let's go and continue this list. Okay, where are we? Wheelgator. Okay, he is average. He's average. If anything, I'd even put him the weakest of the expert for Wheelgator. He's the thing with Wheelgator, like it's somewhat of a case of having a terrain advantage and all that. So it'd have to be in like swampish based terrain for him to really be more effective, as fitting of an alligator. He has like his weaponry isn't like super amazing, but he would have like mobility, and he has fairly decent he has fairly decent mobility to work with and decent bulk. And his weaponry, like, while isn't all that amazing, but it's he's very situational. But I'd say he's probably the most powerful of the terrain-based individuals that uses terrain to their advantage. Like, I'm not going to base them based off of the difficulty of them. I'm basing them off their just overall, like, abilities and how much how effective he would be if it was like a battle against other things and all that shit. But yeah, he's just more of a terrain-based individual, and it's just very situational for him. So, but considering that he's a gator and he probably has like the ferocity to work with too, so also he has the ability to absorb shots. So some of them. That's the other reason why he's probably as high as he is. He can actually absorb projectiles and return fire at them. So that's actually a pretty unique ability, even for like a Maverick. Also, my breakfast is fries and kielbasa. Yeah. So yeah, he's average, but he's not like overly amazing. Wire Sponge, weak. There's nothing to really discuss about Wire Sponge. He doesn't have much mobility. The only reason why he can get around is if he's Tarzan, uses his wires to get around, and uses them for as like a shield or something. Otherwise, yeah, he's fucking weak. And the other thing that holds him back is his personality. He behaves like a child. So he doesn't really have much going for him. That's why he's as weak as he is. Literally anybody can beat the shit out of Wire Sponge. Even Chill Penguin could beat the fuck out of Wire Sponge. That's how weak Wire Sponge is. Okay. The X Hunters is going to be an interesting one. Oh wait, I forgot Crystal Snail. Fuck, I forgot about him. Crystal Snail is he's average. The highest average. Actually, no, I'd even put him in expert. He probably has one of the best defenses. His defenses are better than armored armadillos. The only thing that holds, like, his defenses are incredibly strong, and he has the ability to manipulate gravity. Or no, not even gravity. He has the ability to manipulate time. That's what, if anything, that makes him actually better than these two, because he can manipulate time and use it to his advantage. The only thing that holds him back is his mobility. He has no mobility to work with whatsoever. But but the reason why he's as high as he is because his defenses and his ability to manipulate time is really effective. His defenses is absurd. But if he's taken out of his shell, like, he has like decent mobility for it, but he relies too heavily on his shell to be effective as a Maverick. Without his shell, he's useless. But because of how powerful his weaponry is, i.e. his shell and his time powers, that's why he's as high as he is. Oh no, he's not some fucking, like, amazing, like, guy can jump through time and all that. All he is he could just manipulate it, so he can, like, slow people down and shit. But that's all he pretty much has going for him. Yep. But now, more of a Goldo from... Yeah, he's similar to Goldo, but he can actually fight, unlike Goldo. So now here we are, the X Hunters. Okay. Violin. I'm actually gonna start with Violin first, and yeah. But yeah, Violin is expert. He surprisingly has like, his mobility isn't terrible, but he can get around. The main thing that he has going for him is that fucking chain, that ball and chain. That thing is so disgustingly powerful. Like, when you refight him, you don't even. He doesn't have like a different form or whatever. That's how powerful Violin is, and how, like, amazingly effective his ball and chain is. It's disgustingly powerful. So, he's there for the strength and even, like, fairly decent mobility. I think the only thing that kind of holds him back is just because he's just too aggressive. So, he could easily be taken advantage of. If anything, I'll put him there. He's just too aggressive, I'd say. And that can easily be taken advantage of if need be. Oh yeah, he has that his spread shot from his hands. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. So yeah, so he does have some tools to work with. But the thing is, his hand shots aren't like overly powerful. Actually, we'll do Agile next. Agile is actually above Violent for average. Not counting his super pathetic second form. His first form, he's actually surprising. He actually lives up to the name Agile. He's actually really pretty decent with a sword, and he's quick. He's quick on his feet. He doesn't have much weaponry. The only weaponry he really has is his sword, and he's pretty good with it. And he's pretty quick too on his feet. So he's not bad. He's like, I'd put him higher, but the only reason why he's not higher is due to his second form. I would have put Agile in Powerhouse, but what holds him back is that second form of his. It's not good. It is so pathetic. Anyone could destroy it. I'd even argue even some of the average guys could be able to take out that second form. That's just how bad that second form is. It's just a similar case with Morph Moth. Only difference is it's like turned around. But yeah, no. Yeah, that second form is garbage. But as his first form, he's really good, and I don't know why they should have just stuck with his first form and just give him like one or two extra attacks. And now Surgus. Okay, he's average. He's average. He's Dr. Wily. He doesn't he can put up a fight, sure, but not like a crazy super powerful dude. He has a little bit of mobility to work with, but he relies on his devices to do his fighting for him, and that's about all. He hasn't the thing that puts him high up there is because he probably has high intelligence, and he's just meh. He doesn't have very good fighting ability. The only thing that puts him high in the average is because of his intelligence. Because in some other timeline he rebuilt Zero. So yeah. The only reason why he's average is because of his intelligence. I'm using whatever tools he needs to bring down his enemies. Okay. Second form, Sigma. Okay. Second form, Sigma is Powerhouse. He doesn't leave as much of a lasting impression as the first form did. It looks almost exactly the same, just with a different attire. Even the face is almost exactly the same. But yeah, he has a lot of mobility. He doesn't have a great weaponry. He has the spark abilities, but it doesn't seem overly effective for some scenarios. It's still crazy strong, but it just doesn't have the kind of speed needed to be able to be as effective as it should be. The only thing he has going for him really is just his speed and his yeah, he just has speed. Mind you, he probably wouldn't be as fast as Overdrive Ostrich, but he has power to work with too. Yeah, he has a lot of power to work with, and he has pretty decent speed, really good speed. But yeah, I think that's the only other reason why he probably would be higher up there. His second form is a virus, and viruses can fuck over any other thing, but and that virus and considering that how dangerous the Sigma virus actually is, yeah, there's not much needs to be said there. Yeah. So he's not a. I feel I think that's the other thing too about why he just doesn't seem as powerful as the first form Sigma. He's literally recovering his losses after his first defeat in the first game, and so most of his forces are scattered. So he doesn't really have much to work. He doesn't have as much to work with as he does in the first game. So yeah, and I feel like his second body, like it should be like. It would be arguably more powerful. I'd say it just doesn't feel as high potential as the first form would be, as his first as the first Sigma was. Like, don't get me wrong, like the second form Sigma is incredibly strong, but I just feel like it doesn't have as it's just not as strong as it should be. Okay. Now on to X3. Alrighty, Blast Hornet is Blast Hornet. He's weak. Oh, this guy, Blast Hornet is wasted potential. You would think with someone like him, his Japanese name is Blast Horneck, and his English name is Blast Hornet. You would think with someone of his name he would be an explosive expert, but he's anything but. He's pathetic. He is very pathetic. Like, he has minions to work with, but they're not overly effective, and his weaponry isn't even all that impressive either. He has a bit of mobility to work with, but that's about it. It's just that his weaponry isn't as threatening as it should be, and his mobility, like, it's good, like, it's really good, but it's just his weaponry, like, I feel like it doesn't work for what he should represent. It just doesn't. Yeah, it just even like his he doesn't live up to his name, and his weaponry just doubles down on that. Yeah, I do not like how they did Blast Hornet. They did him dirty. They really did him dirty. Yeah, he just doesn't have. He's kind of meh. Blizzard Buffalo is he's average. In fact, he's actually not average. He's expert actually. He is he's actually pretty strong actually. Blizzard Buffalo is actually pretty strong. He definitely has the power to work with. And he's actually surprisingly mobile. A lot more mobile than you'd think. He has the his little jetpack thing he has, so he can actually move around pretty decently. But I think the only thing that kind of boggles him down a bit is due to the no, I'm actually gonna stick with that where he's at. While he does have to uses the terrain to his advantage, he probably uses it a lot more effectively. He generates ice too, so he could probably freeze faster dudes in his faster dudes in their place if he can hit them. But yeah, he's one of those rare cases where he might not even need his terrain to be effective. That's just how good Blizzard Buffalo actually is. Just one of those very rare cases of where he's actually effective even outside his terrain. He could probably even like generate ice to work with. So it actually makes him a lot more effective that way. And plus his Ice Beam, like, freezes anything it touches, so... Yeah. But yeah. The fact he has that jetpack move, it just bumps him up there. That gives him the mobility to actually be a bit of a threat. Dude hits like a truck, too, so yeah, he definitely belongs up there. Crush Crawfish. Or Scissor Shrimper, I prefer to have as his Japanese name. He is actually expert. He's actually an expert. His weaponry, all he has is his weaponry is actually really weak. But what gets him as high as he is basically his 2 claws. That shit he could probably slice a lot of these guys down to size with how powerful his claws would be. He has mobility to work with. His bulk isn't too bad. But it's mostly his claws and his it's his claws and his mobility that really gets him as high as he is. But I imagine we wouldn't be able to penetrate, like, Crystal Snail's defenses. Yeah, his weaponry, like, he has, like, something that, like, stuns a character, but that's about it. It's just his claws and his mobility that really, Oh yeah, and he uses his claws like a rocket punch, too. Yeah, that's true. So he can probably grab somebody from a fairly decent distance and just like slice their fucking body up, no problem. So yeah, he definitely belongs in the expert category. Gravity Beetle. Gravity Beetle is expert as well. He has fairly decent bulk, but his agility isn't all that amazing. But what puts him high up there, he controls gravity. And that could seriously... In fact, I'd even argue he belongs in Powerhouse. I'd even argue he belongs in Powerhouse. Because he can control gravity, which could fuck up a lot of speedsters thing. Like you don't like... He may have decent bulk and his agility is, like, piss poor, but it's the fact that he can control gravity. And that alone is something you don't want to fuck with. He could put a lot of speedsters in their place. I'm not going to put him in Supreme, but his gravity powers are just that strong that you do not want to fuck with him. It's like... But that's the thing. Like, while it is super strong, it could still be manipulated around. But here's the thing. Like, the reason why I put him in Powerhouse, like, he could hold down a lot of the speedsters, but he wouldn't be able to hold people that can be able to fly. Mind you, he could be able to hold them, but, like, it's more of a, you have to get them down before they become more effective kind of thing. And I would imagine some of the faster dudes would be able to get to him before, like, he uses his gravity powers a lot more effective. So, it's mostly, like, yeah. His gravity powers are so insane, but if you're fast, and if you're, like, really fast, if you're, like, in the air, like, say, Storm Eagle, he could probably take him out, but he'd have to be really quick about it. Because he can fly through the air. That's all the others can fly through the air, but I imagine they wouldn't, like, there's other characters on this list that can also fly, but I imagine they wouldn't be as effective in trying to take down Gravity Beetle. Especially someone like Blast Hornet, because gravity is his weakness. You need to be really fast and be able to fly, be able to take down gravity powers like Gravity Beetle. And making dudes heavy and all that. And shit, yeah, with the gravity powers. Neon Tiger, Powerhouse as well. Powerhouse as well. And he's above Gravity Beetle. He has the speed, bulk. His weapon is not overly amazing, but that weapon is the weakness of Gravity Beetle. So realistically, he's the only one that can be. He's the counter to Gravity Beetle. And considering how fast the bastard is, and considering that his weaponry isn't like super, and his weaponry isn't like super amazing, but the fact that he's a goddamn tiger, and he's like, he definitely has the mobility bulk. He could easily be able to counter Gravity Beetle. All he'd have to do is like, sure, his gravity powers might like hamper him down a bit, but all you have to use is like his ray splasher to like to like fuck up with Gravity Beetle's shit, and then fucking Neon Tiger could just go right in for the kill. And yeah, Toxic Seahorse is I'd say he belongs to an expert. You'd think otherwise, but it's another case of his abilities is incredibly powerful, but everything else about him isn't like his mobility, bulk, and all that is like fairly average. I'd say he has like semi-decent ability, but it's his abilities that makes him as strong as he is. He can turn into acid. You don't fuck with acid, man. I'd even argue to put him in Powerhouse. That's how effective acid is. In fact, I might even put him in Powerhouse. Yeah, that's just how devastatingly powerful acid actually is. It could fuck up a lot of Robot Master shit. And, yeah. Like, he can turn his entire body into acid, and he would not be affected by a lot of shit. That's just how, and plus acid is extremely powerful. You do not want to be touching acid. If you touch acid, your skin will burn. So imagine it hitting a fucking robot. They'll melt. No problem. So yeah. If it weren't for that, he'd be like in the weak category. But his acid powers and weaponry is so ridiculously strong that that's what puts him up there. Tunnel Rhino is average. Tunnel Rhino is average. Like, the thing about him is he has fairly decent speed, surprisingly, and he can use the terrain, so he can like dig through and like he can dig through tunnels and shit. He can or make tunnels and shit, hence his name, and probably get like a surprise attack on somebody. And his weaponry isn't like too bad. But the only problem is, I'd say, yeah, he has like a lot of piercing power to work with. I'd say, I think the thing that like holds him back is just he's not as effective as he should be. It's like he has the power, but I feel like he doesn't know how to use it as well as he should. He's a tough one to put, in all honesty. He's a tough one to put. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'll put him in average. His weaponry isn't like terrible, but he just doesn't. Yeah, he's definitely high average. Yeah, strong physically, decent speed, but doesn't have too many things to work with in terms of attacks. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say he's the highest of the average. Oh no, wait, Volt Catfish. Forgot about him. Volt Catfish. I'm actually gonna put him. He's expert. Electric powers. Don't want to fuck with electric powers. Surprisingly, he doesn't have much mobility to work with, but it's his electric powers that puts him as high as he is. In fact, his electric powers are really frightening. Like, really frightening. Let's see, where did I put it? Oh yeah, Spark Banjo, like, yeah, he has a mobility, but yeah, Volt Catfish is expert, but that's about the only reason why he's as high as he is, just because, like, similar to Toxic Seahorse, it's his electric powers that puts him really high up, like, incredibly, like, it's super, super strong, but it's mostly, And he has decent bulk. In fact, yeah, he does have decent bulk to work with. Yeah. He has decent bulk. His electric powers are incredibly powerful. But the thing that really hampers him is his mobility. He's incredibly slow. So a lot of people can be able to take him down no problem in terms of for when it comes to speed. So all you have to do is just get up to him before he really goes at it. But it's going to be a little difficult to take him down considering how bulky he actually is. Yeah. So he could definitely give speedsters a bit of a run for their money by by fucking around with them a bit. But yeah, he's powerful. He's powerful bulk, but it's just his speed that really hampers him a bit. Yeah, that's the other thing that holds him back a bit is he's very childish. He's very childish. Okay. Vile Mark II is expert. Vile Mark II is expert. While he should be more stronger than the original Vile, I feel like he doesn't have as much potential because his weaponry doesn't feel as strong. Hell, even his ride armors aren't all that strong either. It's the reason why Vile Mark I is as high as he is, because of his armor was practically invincible. You could not destroy it. And his Goliath armor probably would have put him a little bit higher, but even then it could be destroyed. And he just doesn't have as much potential. Barring his ride armors, even his weaponry just doesn't feel as strong doesn't seem as strong as the first Viles was. It's the thing it's just the fact that it's his weaponry that holds him back is where he is. It just wasn't nowhere as good as the first Viles was. And that's why he's lower than original Vile. which is kind of disappointing. Bit is average. He's like mid-average. He's nothing impressive. Like, he doesn't even use that shield of his when you actually fight him. And he has like semi-decent mobility. His weaponry is kind of meh. He has like a homing projectile and a thing that stuns you. It'd be effective in certain scenarios, but yeah, I'd say he's nothing overly amazing. Bite, however, is average as well, but he's actually stronger than Bit for sure. Like, he has the bulk for sure, and knows how to use it. So then, and he makes his bulk like to a point where he can actually use it to be a little bit mobile, which is weird. And plus, he has weaponry that can actually manipulate gravity to some degree. So he uses weaponry fairly effectively, and yeah, that's what helps. That's pretty much what helps his bulk and his thing. Yeah, and when they combine into God Karma Machine no Inari, even like with both of them combined, they would probably be in like expert. But even then, like I would have put them way higher if they actually used like the weapons that both of Bit and Bite used with the God Karma Machine or Inari, then he would have been a lot more threatening. But he doesn't have really a whole lot to work with, so that's why they're at average. So they're nothing really overly there. And then there's Doppler. He's average. He's average. He's not that amazing. He rebuilt Sigma. Like, yeah, whoop-de-fucking-do. Everyone likes rebuilding Sigma. But in terms of his combat ability, like, he doesn't have really amazing projectiles. His mobility even isn't all that impressive. The one good thing he has going for him is his absorption thing, where he can absorb projectiles to recover his health. But that's about it. He's not very effective. If the only thing that puts him as high as he is the only thing that puts him as high as he is his intelligence. That's about it, because he's also one of the ones who actually had a means to destroy Sigma. He actually found an alternative to be able to destroy Sigma. So, but that's about all he has going for him. In fact, I'll even be so bold as to put him in expert, but that's about it. It's a similar case. It's a similar case for him in Surges, but Doppler is just a little bit more effective because he can actually fight in comparison to Surges. Doppler can actually fight, but it's just a similar case. Yeah, that's it. It's pretty much what it is. It's similar to Surges. Only difference is that he can actually fight. But yeah, that's about it. In fact, no, not. I'm not going to put him there. I'm going to put him in expert, not powerhouse. What am I thinking? We'll just put him in the middle. And then Sigma 3 is there. He's just expert. Just like the fight itself is like meh, but overall he just, I don't know, he doesn't feel as difficult as he should be. They overhyped his, like they tried to hype his second form, but he's not overly amazing. Like, I find that Sigma 3 is just the most forgettable of all of the forms of Sigma thus far. He's easily the most forgettable thus far. So he just doesn't have his potential as it should be. And I feel like even Kaiser Sigma, his second form, it's too slow. There's nothing amazing about it. They hype it up, but it's nothing impressive. It's just meh. He's just there. But he's still Sigma, so that's the only reason why he is high as he is. Because he is motherfucking Sigma. But I feel like the tools he was given by Dr. Doppler was just not as good as it should have been. And that's why he's where he's at for the number 3. Now for the juicy one. X4. 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 Oh boy. X4. Alright. Cyber Peacock. Powerhouse. He has, I guess, he sort of has psychic abilities, but more in like cyber space form. Like, in terms of he has fairly decent mobility, but it's the main thing about him is he's like a hacker. It's his utility and abilities that puts him as high he is, and his high mobility. Everything else about him is pretty piss poor weak. It is pretty piss poor weak, but it's his ability of hacking and getting into cyberspace to fuck with shit is what puts him as high as he is. Yeah. And teleportation as well, yeah. Cyber Peacock, he may look goofy, but he's actually fucking powerhouse. Frost Walrus is average. It's just another case of using terrain to his advantage, and that's about it. He doesn't. It's the same case with like most terrain-themed bosses. He needs to have the terrain to his advantage. He can create ice, but he's just not as effective as how Blizzard Buffalo would be. So yeah, he's just average. He's nothing amazing. Jet Stingray is expert. The reason why he's an expert, he can fly. Pretty fast, actually. He can keep up with the Ride Chaser. His weaponry is kind of meh, but it's mostly his he can fly through the air and through the water, and that's the biggest thing with him. He has a lot of good mobility, but it's mostly just the rest of him that isn't all that good. It's just his mobility is good, but not as good as some of the others on this list. Yes, very good. I'm trying to eat and explain at the same time. Okay. Next up, Magma Dragoon. We all unanimously agree. Supreme. We all unanimously agree. Magma Dragoon is supreme. He's motherfucking supreme. Magma Dragoon. What else is there to say? He has mobility, bulk, and has fire powers, but he's literally But the funny thing about... Apparently, I don't know if this is canon or not, but the reason why he... the abilities he has is because he played Street Fighter. So he learned how to do Hadouken and Shoryuken because he played Street Fighter. There's nothing else to fucking say. He didn't learn it from an actual practitioner of the arts. He learned it by playing a fucking video game, and then he used that knowledge to actually to utilize it into his actual repertoire. It's funny, but I find that to be funny, but that doesn't excuse just how fucking badass fucking Magma Dragoon is. And plus, he was also a Maverick hunter like Storm Eagle. Mind you, a good portion of these guys were Maverick hunters as well, but were changed. And he's no different. He was a Maverick hunter, but switched to being a Maverick. But yeah, Magma Dragoon, easily supreme. Easily supreme. Everyone can agree to that. Slash Beast, powerhouse. Powerhouse. He falls under the same category as Neon Tiger, but it doesn't have. His weaponry. He actually, quote unquote, doesn't have weaponry, but he does have it in the form of his laser kick move thing. But he has mobility and power to work with. His defense isn't even all that bad either. So yeah, he's definitely. Yeah, Slash Beast is definitely powerhouse. Rebel Force, surprisingly, a good portion of them, besides maybe Frost Walrus, belongs in the. They're high up there. Rebel Force was not to be fucked with. Split Mushroom is average. Split Mushroom is average, but he's probably the most powerful of the average because he's more he has fairly decently powerful abilities. He's Gemini Man. He's Gemini Man. But he also has but he utilizes his duplication power a lot more effectively than what Gemini could ever hope to accomplish. But what really holds him back is his personality. He's a child. He's a child. He's oh, let's go play hide and seek. You tag, you're it, yada, yada, yada. And he's just, he behaves like a child. And that's what puts him as low as he is. His personality holds him back. He would actually be a lot more threatening if it wasn't for that. Okay. A lot of people are going to give me shit for this, probably. But I don't care. Storm Eagle is expert. Or, no, not Storm Eagle. Storm Owl is expert. Storm Owl is expert. I'd even almost argue I'd even put him in Powerhouse. I'm putting Storm Owl in Powerhouse. Reason being, while he probably wouldn't be as fast as Storm Eagle, he does have probably better, like, wind-based abilities than Storm Eagle, though. And plus, the other thing that puts him as high as he is, he has authority. This guy has authority. The guy can command an entire fleet. That's the big thing about Storm Owl. This guy, like, his in terms of combat, he's they're average at best. His mobility is pretty high up there, but not as, like, he's not fast. But the big thing about him, he has authority. This guy commands an entire air fleet, and that's what puts him as high as he is. He can be he could be a threat. He could probably command like a lot of guys. Like, hey, you guys, go jump this guy. And he does have fairly decent amount of attacks too, for his wind powers. That's why I say his wind powers is better than Storm Eagle's. But in terms of combat ability, he's not as powerful. But the thing he puts him as high as up there, he commands an entire fucking air fleet. And it's just his general authority. It's like he's a higher authority. Like, he'd fit in the same ranks as like as a colonel and all that, but he probably would be like a rank below. But that's just how fucking powerful he is, like, politically and like combat and all that. And this also is a bit of a bias because he has one of my favorite intros where he comes in and just does the salute thing. Like, it's so fucking cool. I love it. But this is really a lot of my bias about Storm Owl, because he's my favorite Repliforce Maverick. Like, bar none. Okay. Web Spider is average. He's the only Repliforce that I find he just has as much potential as some of the others. He's just another. He's similar to Frost Walrus, where he more uses terrain. The only thing that puts him higher up there is if anything, actually no, I'd even put him in expert. The only reason why he is as high as he is, he uses his covert abilities to like the full extent. Because in the Zero scenario, he says he leads like a renegade unit, so he's like he'd be more like akin to like covert abilities, similar to like Sting Chameleon in a way, but yeah, probably less effective than how Sting Chameleon would work, but at the same time, he just has more powers to work with. His weaponry is actually is more effective than you would think. Right. Yeah, he's pretty high. He's not amazing. Like, he has mobility to work with if he's using his weaponry correctly. Yeah. I think that's about the close I can think of for Web Spider. Okay. Colonel is Powerhouse. Colonel is Powerhouse. Obvious reasons. Dude has lightsaber. Dude has speed. Dude can teleport. Dude has pretty decent decent attacks or skills. We can use like thunder-based attacks. And yeah. There's not really much to say about Colonel. He belongs in Powerhouse. He's going to wreck people's ship. He's the second in command of Repliforce, and he He has the skills to work with. The only reason why he's up there, he can go toe to toe with Zero. He can go toe to toe with Zero. And that's why he's that high. Fucking go toe to toe with Zero and actually be on average. They come out fairly average, but Zero can obviously overpower him, no problem. Double is expert. Double is expert. Yeah, Double is expert. Like, he's mostly served as a like a spy-based Reploid, and his abilities are really good actually. Where even if you use his weakness against him, he actually utilizes that to turn his whatever he gets hit with, and he turns it into a projectile to restrict an enemy's movements. But the thing that holds him back is he's too aggressive, and that can easily be taken advantage of. Because that's how he's more or less a hitman, but he has combat abilities, he has like all that. It's just he's too aggressive with his when he's in combat. There's nothing really else that's really saves him from that gets him any higher. It's just he's too. He wouldn't be in Powerhouse, but only if he wasn't like if he wasn't like a complete asshole. That's the only real like major thing that kind of holds him back is his aggressiveness, aka his personality. If he was more level-headed, he would have been a little bit higher. Iris, since she technically does go Maverick, but yeah, she's weak. There's nothing really to say. I'm not going to count her weaponry she uses, but in terms of who she is altogether, there's nothing really to say. So Iris just belongs in weak. She has a weapon, but she has like that armor to work with, but that's meh. But that's all she has going for her. There's literally nothing else that really makes her a threat. Because once her weaponry is destroyed, she's more or less useless. Yeah, he's pretty much... Yeah, Iris is pretty much useless. General is going to be in Powerhouse, but he will not be as powerful as Colonel. Colonel is probably the strongest of the Repla Force. But similar to like Storm Owl in his authority, but he actually has a lot of power and bulk. The only thing that holds him back is his speed. But he has crazy amount of power to work with. But that's all that really he has going for him. It's just his power. Yeah, power and power and bulk. That's his only big thing that he would have going for him. His mobility is not amazing. Trying hard not to say, "What am I fighting for?" But yeah. Let's see. Sigma, number 4. Sigma is actually a powerhouse. This Sigma was actually a bit of a threat. The fact that he was able to go all of Repla Force, in fact, I'd actually even put him in Powerhouse. But he's below Magma Dragoon. Yeah, X-Force Sigma was a threat. This guy could fuck a lot of shit up. Even his his Reaper form would be surprisingly threatening. His second form is just as threatening. He can teleport. He uses his scythe weapon to his full advantage. He has he has the mobility, he has the bulk to work with. The only thing that semi holds him back is mostly just his third form. While they are godly powerful, they're limited to a single room. So yeah, no, yeah, he's not supreme, he's in powerhouse. I'd even argue like in between these two. Yeah, he belongs in powerhouse. It's mostly his third form. It's just another case of, oh, you turn into your third form, but you're limited to your room? Okay, bye. You're not threatening anymore. But it's mostly his first and second forms that puts him as high as he is. Because he actually has, like, really good abilities and stats to work with. That's what makes X4 Sigma really threatening. But I'd argue that that Colonel could take him down pretty easily. If it weren't just for the fact that he was sided with Repliforce. Colonel could actually body Sigma X4, for sure. Did you forget? No. Okay. Alrighty. Now we're on to X5. Okay. Spike Rose Red is average. This is another case of he has fairly decent abilities, but it's another case of his personality holds him back. I feel he stands in a similar vein as what Freeze Man would be. Well, not Freeze Man. Tundra Man. I find him he'd be a little bit more full of himself, and he's like very self-centered, and I find that's what holds him back. Like his mobility isn't bad; he can actually duplicate himself, and he uses his weaponry to his advantage. But it's another similar case of where he needs to have the terrain with him in order to be effective, and I find that's what holds him back a bit. But I'd say a bit. If anything, I'd honestly even put him in expert, because there's more grass to work with, grass and forestry to work with in comparison to a lot of other stuff. In fact, anything, I'd put him even higher than that. But again, like I said, the thing that holds him back is just his personality. He's just too self-centered to really be to be as threatening as he should be. Dark Necrobat is meh. he's weak. He's nothing all that effective. He's what Shade Man. It's like he wanted to be like Shade Man, but he just is nowhere as effective as he should be. It's like he has the abilities, but he just doesn't use them all that well. So yeah, I don't. Yeah, Dark Necrobat is probably is weak. He's not all that amazing. Then Tidal Well, or he's the only one whose name I will accept from the early translation, Duff McWhalen. That is the only name I'll accept for the name change is Duff McWhalen, because it sounds so fucking stupid. I love it. I love the name because it sounds so stupid. But yeah, Duff McWhalen is on expert. In fact, he'd be pretty high up there, surprisingly, but not as strong as some other ones. Like, he's another case of terrain-based shit, but he also has he has respect. He has a lot of respect. I think he's referred to as a captain. He's referred to as a captain, so he would command a navy of some sort at least. His abilities isn't like super amazing. He can manipulate the flow of actually, he can't manipulate anything. No, he just has ice. He has ice powers. That's about it. And he's fairly like mobile in the waters. But yeah, it's mostly just his presence alone that just puts him in a higher than you'd expect it to be, because he just has that air about him that puts him as high as he is. Like, I mean, I would put him lower, but he's just more, I don't know, he just has that aura about him that just doesn't, like, you'd think he'd be weak, but he actually isn't. And plus there's the name, Duff McWhalen. It's a stupid reason to put him in expert, but I just feel he belongs there because he has the stuff to work with. I guess that's the other argument to be had. If the world has more water than land, so yeah, he'd be a lot more stronger than what like a lot of the other that's pretty much it. He's the strongest aquatic maverick slash. Yeah, he's the strongest aquatic maverick of the bunch. That's pretty much what I probably should have said from the beginning. He's the strongest aquatic-based maverick of the group. Yeah, he's the strongest aquatic maverick. Crescent Grizzly is... Crescent Grizzly is average. He's like similar to Tunnel Rhino, but he uses his weaponry a lot more effectively. Specifically, his big fuck off claw. He uses like his crescent slash thing pretty pretty effectively, and he can dig through walls and shit. And yeah, he's definitely a lot more effective than he's what Tunnel Rhino wanted to be, but Crescent Grizzly works a lot more better. Okay. Shining Firefly is also going to be an expert. He's one of those weird cases. He's like Surgus. If anything, I'd even put him there, above Dr. Doppler. The thing is, Shining Firefly is just like Surgus and Doppler, but probably not as high in intelligence. But he's like he's a researcher. Some of them even call him like Dr. Firefly or whatever. So he's technically of a high intelligence individual. And the difference is, though, he actually has combat abilities to work with. So he's a lot more effective than what Doppler and Surgus could ever hope to be. So that's what puts him as high as he is. But in terms of abilities, his abilities are like... Let's see. Crescent Grizzly. Oh, he wasn't fond of fighting, but he really hated Zero. Okay. I figured he would have been more aggressive for who he was. He always came off as me as like some kind of a Texan. I don't know why. Yeah, his lasers are fairly dangerous, but and he has fairly decent mobility, so he can. That's the other thing. He can teleport as well. So yeah, he's actually fairly high up there for a mobile flight character with high intelligence. He's actually really good. I'd even argue to even put him in Powerhouse. In fact, you know what? Fuck this. I'm actually gonna put Shining Firefly in Powerhouse. That's just how fucking. Mind you, he's not like the most. No. That's too generous. I'll put him there. Like, he has fairly decent mobility. His bulk is like not amazing, but it's there. But and his weaponry is not his weaponry is a little bit there, but it's his intelligence that also gets him high up there as well. So yeah, he definitely belongs in the expert category. But he actually might be lower because he's not meant to be a fighter. That's probably what holds him back a bit. He was not meant to be a fighter. He was there for research. When he became a Maverick, sure, he has like abilities to work with, but realistically, he's not a fighter. A lot of the other Mavericks are fighters. Shining Firefly isn't a fighter. That's why he's actually going to be a little bit lower than he should be. That's why he's going to be where he is. He's not a fighter. He's not a fighter. He wanted to do research, but because the Maverick virus affected him during X5, he just wants to be put out of his misery because he can't control his actions anymore. So he can fight, but only because the Maverick virus caused him to do that. So he learns how to like utilizes his weaponry like to a decent amount, but that's about it. Realistically, the dude doesn't fight. That's the only reason why he's where he should be. That's the only partial thing that holds him back. That'll hold him back is the fact that he doesn't exist to be a fighter. He's not a Maverick Hunter. Burn Dino Rex is like there. He's pretty much everything Magma. He wishes he could be Magma Dragoon, but he can't. He will never be Magma Dragoon. He has like fairly decent firepower. I'd even argue he has probably stronger firepower than Magma Dragoon, but I think it's just because of his aggressive personality that is like similar to like with Double. Like he has the power to work with, but it's his aggressive personality can just have the tides turn on him, no problem. So yeah, he's powerful, but he just doesn't have like a it's his rage that really, his aggressive nature that really makes him where he's at. Because when I first saw him, I pictured him to be like he would be like an aggressive individual, but I figured he'd be like I wanted to somewhat be like Megatron from Beast Wars, but not as intelligent, mind you. But yeah, I wanted to be something like that. Yes. But sadly, he wasn't. But it is what it is. Volt Kraken is going to be in Expert as well. Yeah, in fact, I'm even probably the strongest of the Expert. Because the dude is actually a Maverick Hunter, but he quit being a Maverick Hunter because X killed Launch Octopus. And so he just secluded himself. Because he just said, no, fuck the Maverick Hunters. I don't care for this anymore. And then the Maverick virus took him over, and then he became super aggressive. But despite all that, considering he's a Maverick Hunter, he can put up a fight. Like his electric powers is not to be overlooked. It's his weaponry, like his electric powers is what puts him as high as he is. His mobility, like he can fly and all that, but I'd argue his flying powers isn't like overly amazing. Like even I'd say, yeah, his mobility like isn't like crazily high. Even his bulk and power isn't all that amazing either. But it's his electric power that puts him as high as he is, and his decent mobility. Like, in fact, yeah, I'll put him weaker then. Double will probably still be higher than him. But the reason, I put him, I would put him in powerhouse, but the reason why I put him in expert is because he's, I'd say it like, it's, I don't want to call it his personality that kind of hinders him a bit, but I feel like he just doesn't have, he wouldn't be using his potential to his full extent, just because of his stance on just being a Maverick Hunter in general. Yeah. Yeah, he's a tough case. Let's see. Yeah. Actually, you know what? Yeah, I'll put him in powerhouse. He does belong in powerhouse, yeah. Yeah, because it's just it's his electric power that his electric weaponry is what puts him as high as he is. Let's see who else. Spiral Pegasus is a powerhouse. He's actually a powerhouse. I put him in like around there. He's probably the. Yeah, I'd say he's probably, yeah, he's the strongest Repliforce unit under before Colonel in general. He would probably be the strongest Repliforce unit. He'd probably on the same level as Slash Beast. Because he definitely, like, the dude can fly. I'd argue he'd probably be just as fast as Storm Eagle. Yeah, yeah, Spiral Pegasus is probably just as fast as Storm Eagle. And, like, he's pretty much almost like Storm Eagle, but I feel like it's his weaponry that holds him back a bit. He doesn't have as powerful weaponry than Storm Eagle does. And I feel that's what holds him back a bit. Because he's literally just Storm Eagle, but it's just his wind powers isn't as strong as what Storm Eagle's is. He probably has better combat capabilities than Storm Eagle. It's just his wind powers isn't as strong as what Storm Eagle's is, and that's what. And the other thing that also slightly holds him back a bit is his infatuation with Iris. Because he was also buddies with Iris, and that conflicted his things with like Zero and all that too. So that's what also holds it holds him back, because he's too emotional. I'd say, yeah, he's too emotional, and that could end up fucking him over. And he could be taken down pretty quickly because of it. But if it weren't for that, he would almost be close to Supreme. But I even put him higher in the powerhouse if it just weren't for that big issue about him. It was just because of his ties with Iris and Zero. See. Alrighty. Dynamo is, yeah, he's low expert. He has really good combat abilities and shit, but it's his personality that gets in the way. He's not all there. He's why I give him the "Hello, X, dear. It's been a while. Do you remember me?" It's like I'm doing my best Eagle Raptor trying to do the McDonald Miller impression. Hello, Zero. Look at me. My name's Dynamo. Aren't I just fabulous? Yeah. Dynamo just doesn't really just. He's not there. He's also a bit of a bitch, so he runs away at the drop of a hat too. That's the other reason why. He has good combat abilities, but he's also a bit of a pussy. So as soon as he's defeated, he's like, oh, I gotta go now. Bye. And this is just saying that for both him for X5 and 6. So yeah, I don't even argue to put him in average. He's like, he can fight, but he is too much of a bitch. Okay. Shadow Devil. Actually, hold on. Alright, now, Shadow Devil is in... He's like mid-expert. He's just like another like security-based thing, but damn is this guy dangerous. He's the Shadow Devil. Like there's not really much to be said. He has the ability, like he can multiply himself. He can transform into other forms. He will wreck a lot of things shit before he gets taken down. Shadow Devil, you do not fuck with Shadow Devil. You do not fuck with Shadow Devil. But he can still be brought down for he can still be brought down, but he's still like a dangerous threat. Rangda Mark II, same as Rangda number 1. They are both at the same spot. Nothing much more needs to be said about that. Alright. Okay, 0 for X and 0 normally they're not Mavericks in this portion when you're fighting them normally, so they're not Mavericks. So I'm putting them in the no opinion part. So I can't give an opinion since they're technically not Mavericks at that point. Maverick 0, however, is obviously supreme. He is obviously supreme. He is obviously supreme. Why? He was the original owner of the Maverick virus. He beat the shit out of Sigma. He's like just the dude is destructive. His it's 0. There's nothing else to be said. It's the abilities of 0, but he turned to the dark side, and now he's ready to fuck shit up. There's nothing more to be said. There's nothing more to be said. He's the most powerful supreme of this list thus far. Psycho Sigma, supreme. Not as powerful as X5 Maverick 0, but he's in supreme. This Sigma was the closest to bring down X and 0. His abilities, like he has the mobility, all that other shit. Even his giant form is like arguably like his giant form is actually effective because in the technical sense, well, I didn't know about the one-hit kill move for Maverick 0. But yeah, Psycho Sigma is like even like his second form. He technically is effective all throughout that cyberspace. And considering how big that cyberspace could technically be, yeah, he's fucking strong, man. Like X5 Sigma is probably the strongest Sigma ever is, and ever like that is the strongest he'll ever be. Because nothing else could be able to come close to what X5 Sigma could be able to do. He was the closest to blow up the Earth by having that colony like being like sent down to Earth. He pretty much destroyed 0 and nearly killed X at the same time. That's how crazy strong Psycho Sigma was in X5. He was the closest to ever to beat the team. Yeah, there's not much to be said about X5's Sigma. Oh yeah, and his partner thing, yeah, it's clearly obvious that his partner was Dr. Wily. Like there's no other fucking person that could be doing it. There's no other thing. Yeah, it was clearly Dr. Wily that was his benefactor. Alrighty, that takes care of X5. Now X6. X6. Blaze Heatnix is average. Or no, not average, expert. Dude's is like, despite the fact he has the most badass theme in the entire series, barring that, he has fairly strong fire abilities, but I find that it like he probably has a lot of mobility and not like semi decent bulk, but I find that is like it's mostly like his bulk that doesn't really work with him. Even his like firepower is like they should be stronger, but they aren't. Like he has the potential, but I just feel like he's not as strong as he wants to be, or he lets himself be. He probably would, like, if it weren't for the fact that just he's a Phoenix. Phoenix should arguably the most powerful thing in this list, but he just doesn't live up to the name. It's like a similar case with Blast Hornet. Only difference is he actually has the skills to work with, but they're not as strong as they should be. Like he could take on like Burn Danorex, no problem, but he just still wouldn't be able to stand a chance against like a lot of the future, like a lot of the other guys or any other shit and all that. I just feel like he's a wasted potential. He's wasted potential, but he's still he's definitely like he's there. Yeah, it's not fully reached. Blizzard Wolfgang, however else you want to call him. He's just another terrain-based Reploid. If anything, no, not even that. He's average. He's nothing impressive. His weaponry isn't all that good. He's just another terrain-based Reploid, and nothing all that amazing. So he's just kind of there. Commander Yanmark is in a similar vein as maybe like, yeah, he's an expert, surprisingly. He has like he would have decent mobility. His bulk wouldn't be all that amazing, but the only thing that really puts him as high up there is his weaponry. I'd say, yeah, his weaponry is actually pretty high up there. Really high up there, actually. His Yanmar option, where he utilizes his little Yanmas, his little Yanmars, or whatever the fuck you want to call them. I forgot the name of the actual bug. I think it was called a Yanmar. I can't. Or here's a better name. His little dragonfly units. They're actually a lot more powerful than you'd think, because not only do they protect them, they fire fairly decently powerful shots too. So, yeah, it's his weaponry that puts him as high as he is. If his weaponry wasn't as strong as it was, he'd definitely be in like the weak category. So yeah, that's what puts him high up there, is his weaponry. It's just his stats isn't all that amazing. The only thing he has going for him is his mobility. Ground Scarabitch! Weak. He's a burglar. And his weaponry, like he's not even all that strong. He'd be more like a defensive based individual, but he's all he has going for him is his weaponry, and even then his weaponry isn't even all that good. And yeah, and plus he's just like he's a petty thug, and he's kind of like meh. He's just like not all that. He's not all that powerful. Yeah. Ground Garbage is just not all that powerful. Infinity Maginian. He's a water flea. And I'd put him in like, I don't even know where to put him. He's a tough one. He's like a similar. I put him in like average. Yeah, I'll put him in average. Because he's similar to like Split Mushroom, but he's not like some childish thing. For him, it's more like he has an obsession with Illumina, as in my Ground X6 videos.
Oh, how could you hurt my precious Illumina? Now I'm gonna make you pay that you destroyed my precious Illumina.
But anyway, yeah. But yeah, Infinity Maginian, like the only thing he has going for him is probably his fairly high defensive abilities and his ability to multiply. His firepower isn't all that impressive, and I think that's about all he has going for him. The only thing that really holds him back is just his personality and his obsession with the giant ass robot Illumina. Otherwise, he should be more effective, but he just isn't. He should be more effective, but he isn't. That's why it's hard to put him. He's in between either. I even put him even lower on the average scale. Like he's so in between, like. Yeah, he's a man-child, and that's what really brings him down. Like, he's in between either average or weak, but he actually has decent abilities, but he's just... No. Just no. Alright, here's one that's going to surprise a lot of people. Metal Shark Player is a powerhouse. Metal Shark Player is a powerhouse. For one reason only. Necromancy. This dude can bring any other Reploid from the dead. I'd even argue he would belong up there. Necromancy, you don't fuck with. Necromancy, you don't fuck with. Because all he'd have to do is just bring back any dead Reploid and say, hey, you, kill him. That's it. He could bring any Reploid. I won't put him in Supreme. The reason being is because of his combat abilities. His combat abilities is not all that great. It's another case of needing the terrain to work with. But it's the fact that he can bring back the dead. He can bring the dead back. If he really was smart, he could bring back a whole bunch of other dead Reploids and just wreck a lot of opposition shit. That's just how disgustingly powerful his necromancy is. That's how fucking disgustingly powerful Metal Shark is. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. His ability of necromancy is that fucking ridiculous that it makes up for all of his shortcomings. Yeah, like his entire ability, all of his abilities are weak. His weapon is weak, but it's his necromancy is the only thing that keeps him up there. If it wasn't for his wet necromancy, he'd be in weak. He would be in weak. He would be in weak. Rainy Turtleoid is expert. He's in a similar vein as Crystal Snail, so he has a lot of good defense, but the only difference is he probably uses that defense and to his advantage and to become a lot more agile than what Crystal Snail would be. Because he actually uses that big giant shell to move around fairly quickly, and it's really difficult to be able to dodge him. So, like, he has the mobility only because he knows how to utilize his weight to his advantage. That's why he's as high as he is. Rennie Turtleoid you don't want to fuck with. Yeah, you don't want to fuck with Rennie Turtleoid. He definitely he's probably the strongest defensive character of the bunch. I'm gonna actually stick with that. He's the strongest defensive Reploid of everyone thus far, and that's why he's higher than even Crystal Snail. Like you can't mess with Rennie Turtleoid, and I don't even like the guy all that much. I think it's like he's a sumo wrestler, but he actually he's where he's supposed to be. Shield Sheldon is about the same as Armored Armadillo. Like, he has the defenses to work with, but he also knows how to utilize his entire repertoire decently. But I feel like he falls in the same category as Armored Armadillo, as he's more based for security. And plus, he was also a Maverick Hunter as well, but he turned over to Gate's side. Just not as effective as he should be. That's all. Yeah, that's the other thing about Turtleoid. He is loyal to a fault to Gate, only because of like an incident that occurred. He did not want to fight X. He did not want to fight him, but but because he is loyal to Gate, he has to do what he has to do what he is bound. He's honor bound to do it. It's like, X, I don't want to do this, but I have to. I would rather do anything else other than fight you, but I have to do it because I am loyal to Gate. But who was the other one I was talking about? Oh, yeah, Shield Sheldon was average, and then yeah, okay. Nightmare Zero is powerhouse. Yeah, he's a powerhouse based. He's powerhouse. He's not as strong as what Maverick Zero would be, but he is going to be powerhouse. The only thing I find is that he's weaker than Maverick Zero is mostly because of his abilities. It's like he's a copy of Zero, but he's not as effective as what the original Zero could actually be. Yeah. There's just nothing about the original about Nightmare Zero that's like as great as Maverick Zero. So he's kind of like, I'd even argue to put him on expert. Let's see here. Nightmare Mother. Another security-based thing, but he's about as dangerous as... Or she's about as dangerous as the Shadow Devil. It's just another security-based thing, but very, very, very effective in doing its job. Very, very effective in doing its job. Hymax, however, is powerhouse. And... no, I would even argue supreme. Hymax is in supreme. What, like, there's... what do I have to say? He can tank any attack. And if anything, he'd be higher than Storm Eagle. he is the greatest defensive character of this entire list. Bar none. Bar none. The rest, like, his mobility is, like, okay-ish, and his physical power is, like, it's up there. Like, if it wasn't for his disgustingly high defensive power, everyone else would be, he'd be in, like, average. But it's his defenses is what makes him so high up there. Oh yeah, Nightmare Mother. I can't stand the Nightmare Mother boss either. But yeah, high max. It's the only reason why he's high up there is the defense. His shields and all that shit. Yeah, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. And that's the other. This is the reason. And here's the other reason. I fucking hate high max. I fucking cannot stand high max. I hate him with every goddamn fiber of my being. I cannot stand high max because of the bullshit you have to go through with this guy. And that's why he's and that's one of the main reasons we saw up there, because nothing affects him. Nothing affects him. His defenses are that absurd that he could body everything. You know what? I'd even argue this. I would even argue this. He can take. He would be able to body. No, he would. No. I'm not going to put him higher than X5 Sigma. But yeah, high max is that ridiculously fucking defensive. Like X1 Sigma can strike out a weak spot, but high max, yeah, high max is there only because of how disgustingly high his defensive strength is. If it weren't for that, yeah, he'd be down there. Anyway, Gate is let's see. He falls under the same category as Surges and all them. So if anything, I put him in Powerhouse because he's a very combative unit, you know, and what puts him higher than like Dr. Doppler, Surges, Shining Fireflies, because he is the most intelligent so far because he created his own virus. The Nightmare virus. He created the Nightmare virus and fucked up a lot of shit. So he has the intelligence to work with. So if anything, I'd put him even higher than that. The only thing that puts him down is, while his combat abilities are good, they're not as amazing as they should be. They're not as amazing as they should be. But what puts him as high as he is because of his intelligence. He is literally the most powerful, smartest individual of the entire group. And he also brought back Sigma. As stupid as that plot twist was. He was smart enough. He was that smart. He knew how to bring back Sigma from death. Which was still stupid as shit, but despite all that, yeah, like he had his abilities. All he has is like balls that has different types of effects, like manipulating gravity. But I imagine like those abilities itself aren't all that strong. So yeah, his combat abilities, like, while still not amazing, he's the most intelligent of the Reploids thus far because he created his own virus. That's just how, and that alone is like puts him like really, really high up there. And then there's X6 Sigma. He's average. Like, he still has like very powerful attacks, but the dude is literally a fucking zombie. He's the weakest of these Sigmas, like, bar none. He's the weakest bar none. But we'll soon. But that's going to be debated because with what I'm going to be mentioning here. But Yeah, he's pretty much a zombie. Even his second form isn't even all that powerful. Like he doesn't really like he has some like pretty nasty attacks, but the only thing that holds him back is that is his mental state. He's a zombie. He's like he still has like that lingering hatred for X and Zero, but at the same time, he is far too fucked up right now to really be posing much of a threat. So that's why he's just average. He could still kick your ass, but he's not mentally there when he's doing it. And that's what literally just fucks him up. It's just because of his fucking his mental state. It's so dampering, and plus it really hampers his combat abilities because of it. Okay, this one's going to be a lot harder now, because now we're in X7 and X8. This is going to be a lot harder because I've never played X7 and X5 or X8. Like, I've played them, but I haven't played a whole lot of them. So I can't exactly give a very fair... I can't really give a fair, analysis about them. But the most I can be able to do is give the ones that I do know. For example, Flame Heinyard. We all know Flame Heinyard. The memes speak for itself. Like, he would belong in average. But this is mostly just based on what I've seen of him. Like, he can clone himself. He can he shoots fire, like he can throw fire, but that's about all he has going for him. And he has a giant mecha working with him too. But the thing that holds him back is his mental state. Yeah, I'll try my best from the knowledge I have of X7 and 8. Like, I don't have a lot of knowledge on a lot of the characters, so a lot of them are going to be on the no opinion ladder. But I'm mostly basing from the stuff I've seen, so I can't really give an honest opinion. But yeah, like Flame Heinyard, like we've known the meme for him. Burn, burn, burn to the ground, burn, burn to the burn, burn, burn to the ground, burn, burn. But yeah, despite the memes, yeah, it's another case of he has the strength, but he just doesn't have the mental capacity because he's kind of cool. I don't even know who the fuck this guy is. I don't even know his name. I don't know a lot of these guys' names actually. So I can't give an opinion on him. Red Alert, or Red. I don't even really can't give an opinion on him. See, this is the only bad part that kind of makes me that made me a little bit like hesitant. Because I can't really give it a think. So like he would I gotta remember he was a commander of a group, and Axel like changed sides because he didn't agree with Red Alert's motives of hunting Maverick, so he switched sides. But then he became way too like radical and started causing shit. I can't really give an opinion on what his combat ability is because I've never seen his boss fights or experienced it for myself. Like, and like the same goes for the other Mavericks here. Like, I can't really give an opinion on them. From all what I'm seeing from all of them right now, they look weak as shit. They look boring. So I can't really give an opinion on this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, this guy, and even Red. Like, I've seen this, like the Sigma here, and he just looks like average. He looks average. Like, he's back. His mental state is back, but I find that his weaponry and his combat abilities is kind of, it's not all that amazing. Like, even like I'd argue to I'd put him in maybe like low expert for him. Like he has like good like his weaponry is like good, but they're nowhere as strong as what his other shit was. Yeah, it's nowhere as strong as it. his boss sucks. Trust me. So yeah, I can't really give an opinion. So yeah, they're gonna belong in they're gonna belong in either between weak and average for all I know. But for X7 Sigma, like from what I've seen in his boss fights, they didn't look all that amazing. Like he has like a big giant ass shotgun, and that's all I can remember from him. Like, and he has like and his big giant ass form is nothing compared like to what like previous other forms of Sigma were. In fact, it's just meh. Like, one of these days I will sit down and actually play through X7 and 8, and I'm gonna cringe at every little bit of it. Yeah, his like I've seen his second form. Like, realistically, like you think it'd be threatening, but I find that like it's just a case of the X3 Kaiser Sigma like mentality, where it's like he's all big and powerful, but it's his size that works against him. You know, like he can't get mobile because of it. And as for X8, similar case. I don't know a lot of these bosses maybe with a couple. Yeah, even X6 is stronger than him. Like, I can't even give an opinion for a good portion of these guys, with a couple of exceptions. Like Burn Rooster, I would put in like this, like a similar category as like where did I put Flame Stag? Where did I put Flame Stag? Was he an average? I can't remember where I put Flame Stag. Oh, he was in Powerhouse. Yeah, I put Flame Rooster in Powerhouse because he seems to behave similar to what Flame Stag is like, but I find that his firepower is a lot more stronger than what Flame Stag is. So like I said, I don't remember a lot. I've only seen like a few of the X8 bosses. Let's see, who else do I remember? Who was the guy that was like that hides in the shadows? I think it was. No, it was this guy here. Yeah, I can't remember the dude's name, but he looked like he's like a similar case of like Sting Chameleon and all that, but he's like another case of a ninja based dude, and he like works in the shadows and shit. So you'd probably be like around there. I honestly do not know what the dude's name is, and I can't really give an opinion on these guys. And this is like Copy Sigma or something like shit like that. And I can't give an opinion. Burn Rooster is Powerhouse. He has an angry, vengeful personality. So he always immune to buster shots. So Dark Mantis. Okay. So yeah, so if Burn Rooster would be in Powerhouse for sure. Then if he's immune to regular like normal like shots and shit. Yeah, I don't have an opinion on him or the Fireflower dude. I have seen a bit of Vile Mark 3, I guess, if you want to call him that. And I find he's even less utilized than what Vile Mark 2 is. Like, his right armor doesn't look all that threatening. Like, the Vile Mark 2's right armors were more threatening, but they were more basic. But Vile Mark 3 just didn't seem as utilized as well as the other two were. OG Vile would still kick the other two's asses. This Sigma, he looks cool as shit. Like he looks cool as shit. He definitely looks cool. I'd even put X8 Sigma like the highest of like the expert for the Sigmas, but he can't come close to like X4 and X1's X1, X4, and X5 Sigmas. But X8's is pretty high up there, mostly just due to just the way he is. He just looks so fucked up and all that shit, and he has like the mobility to work with, and he has very unique attacks, and he has a big fuck off sword too. So yeah, he's definitely high up there because I've seen like the final battle and all that stuff. Then Lumine would be Where would Lumine be? Probably Supreme. Yeah, Lumine would definitely be Supreme. Because he can, like, manipulate, like, elemental powers and shit and can fly around. So he has the mobility, and plus he has, like, a one-hit kill move. So he can definitely fuck a lot of shit up. And plus he manipulated Sigma. That's what puts him in Supreme as well. He pretty much manipulated Sigma throughout X8. And, yeah. He one-upped Sigma and became the final boss of X8. Which was a nice change of pace. And I find that he has a lot. I think if anything, he almost falls under the same category as what Gate and all them would be, but the only difference is he can actually fight effectively. Because it was because Lumine was the one who created an entire project, like the Jacob elevator shit and all that. So he definitely has like he has passion, let's just say that. But yeah, that's pretty much going to be it. The only Mavericks that weren't involved in this list are like the Game Boy ones. Yeah, are the Game Boy ones like Burkana, Gareth, and all them. They weren't added. If I would have put Burkana, I'd put her in like Expert and Gareth in like Average. And the other two fucks from Extreme 1, I'd put them in like Average at best. And yeah, that's about it that we got for the that's it. That is the list. So what do you think, guys? You think some of these guys would be in other tiers? Like if you actually have a better place than for an opinion for the guys that are in the no opinion ladder, then be sure to let me know in the comments, because otherwise I can't really give an opinion on a lot of the X7 and X8 bosses, because I can only really judge the ones from what I've seen. But they all look like the X8 designs don't look. Some of them don't look too bad, but they all look boring. Though I do like the Panda one. That one looks he's the most unique one. I like the design alone, but I can't really give an opinion on him because I haven't really experienced what he's like in battle or what he like has for a personality, so I can't really give an opinion on it. But yeah, that is the list. I did try out the X challenges, and I was doing it on normal mode, and I lost my patience with it because some of the boss fights, some of the challenges they'd want you to do is just way too ridiculous, and I was just like, I do not have the time or patience to go through all this shit. The big one that really just ended up pissing me off the most was the Spiral Pegasus and Neon Tiger, and that was like the second row of enemies you had to deal with, and I was like, nope, fuck this, I am officially done. I was like, nope, I was not having it. Ugh. But yeah, that is about it. So yeah, that's about really as much. In fact, I'm just gonna quickly do one more thing. There. Okay, someone I don't have an opinion of it, but from what I've seen, I can only give a finite amount of opinions for that. But yeah, I'll put him in low expert because he's a mantis and works in the shadows. Yeah, that's about. I can really find what I can work with him. But anyway, yeah, that has been the list. It's not as even much rage. It's just more of just like. It's more just like I was too impatient to go through some of the shit you have to go through with some of those challenges. Like some of the more ridiculous ones, like what was it? having to fight Gate and Dynamo at the same time. And there was a few of them there that are just like no, fuck this, man. Like, some of the bosses, like, they restrict your movement so hard. And another boss is, like, so mobile that you can't even, like, it's so hard to dodge them that by the time you kill one of them, the other guy's just gonna finish you off. Like, it's so bullshit. No, hell no. The only way you're gonna get through all that is if you do easy mode. And where's the fun in that? You have to be a masochist to enjoy, like, normal and hard mode X challenges. Like, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. But yeah, that has been the list. So what do y'all think? Y'all agree with it? Some places may have put higher, lower, higher, mid. Yeah. Some I know, honestly, some would be high. Some of the ones that I put still surprise me a bit. I try to base them based off of their abilities and all the other shit alone. Like, I try not to let my bias, like, impact their positioning. Because, like I said, the unit, like, the Maverick, like, the boss I hate the most is Hymax. If I could, I would have put him all the way in, like, weak. That's how much I hate Hymax. But I can't. Because it would not make sense. If it was a list of, like, of Mavericks that I personally like, then this entire list would be completely different. Way different. Like, favorite, I'd have, like, favorite, like, alright, and, like, don't like, and loathe. And Hymax would be the top tier of loathe. And I'd be having, like, Metal Shark at, like, favorites. I'd be having, like, Shining Firefly at favorites. Storm Eagle would be up there. Fucking Storm Owl as well. Same with Volt Kraken, Volt Catfish, Duff McWhalen, Launch Octopus. Yeah. Oh, and Stink Chameleon. Yeah, Hymax is my arch enemy for life. I cannot stand Hymax. Then again, I just can't stand X6 in general, but it is what it is. Anyway, that has been the Mega Man X Maverick Hunters tier list. Hope you all enjoyed it, and yeah. So yes, I have been the Monius, and as always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all later. Might try and continue more Star Ocean tomorrow. I'm just a little bit focused on working on my working with a new program with RPG Maker MV, because I'm starting plans on a next RPG project. So yeah. So yeah, I'll catch y'all later. Toodaloo.